The Kardashian media empire has long operated at the center of modern celebrity culture, where personal relationships and public narratives often intersect. Recent headlines surrounding Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble follow that familiar pattern, presenting claims of crisis that stand in contrast to the couple's decade-long partnership. To understand the current speculation, it is necessary to revisit the origins and structure of their relationship within the broader Kardashian framework. Kris Jenner, widely regarded as the strategic force behind one of the most commercially successful reality television brands in history, met Corey Gamble in 2014 at Riccardo Tisci's 40th birthday celebration in Ibiza. At the time, she was navigating the highly public dissolution of her marriage to Caitlyn Jenner. Gamble, a talent manager associated with Scooter Braun's network, entered her life during a period of personal transition. Their 25-year age difference immediately drew scrutiny from both the tabloids and members of the Kardashian family. In the early stages, the relationship was publicly framed as a rebound. Over time, however, Gamble became a consistent presence within Kris's personal and professional orbit. He appeared regularly on the Kardashians, participated in family events, and was often described as a stabilizing influence within a high-pressure environment. Despite early skepticism from Kim and Khloe Kardashian, who questioned his long-term intentions, and occasional public criticism from Kanye West, Gamble remained embedded within the family structure. Within the architecture of the Kardashian enterprise, relationships are rarely private matters. They function alongside business interests, brand positioning, and audience engagement. Gamble's role evolved beyond that of a partner. He was frequently depicted as managing logistics, supporting security arrangements, and operating quietly behind the scenes. His presence contributed to the perception of steadiness during a period marked by shifting marriages, public controversies, and expanding commercial ventures. This stability became central to how their partnership was understood. Public appearances, joint interviews, and social media tributes reinforced the image of durability. Kris referred to Gamble as her forever date and ride or die, language that aligned with the brand's emphasis on loyalty and cohesion. The relationship appeared to offer continuity within a family often characterized by rapid change. Against this backdrop, the emergence of messy, split headlines in late 2025 introduced a contrasting narrative. The claims suggested tension, financial disputes, and potential separation. These reports gained traction after two widely circulated public moments: a tense exchange captured at Jeff Bezos' wedding in Venice, and an instance at a Beyoncé concert in Las Vegas where Kris reportedly walked away from Gamble in visible frustration. Such moments, while limited in scope, were amplified through tabloid framing. In the ecosystem of celebrity media, small gestures can quickly be interpreted as signals of deeper fractures. The suggestion that Gamble was seeking a substantial financial settlement or that he intended to leverage private knowledge of the family's inner workings began to circulate. Some outlets characterized the alleged situation as a blackmail scenario involving demands for a fair share of the empire's success. These narratives positioned Gamble as a figure who had supported the family through critical moments and now sought compensation for that loyalty. However, the broader structure of the relationship, as publicly documented, presents a different balance of power. Both individuals maintain independent financial standing. Kris Jenner's wealth is rooted in long-standing business ventures and equity stakes, while Gamble's career predates and operates outside of his association with the Kardashian brand. This context complicates the claim that either party was financially dependent on the other. Public documentation from the same period shows the couple continuing to appear together at high-profile events. Their joint attendance at the Yes Scholars Gala in late 2025 was widely interpreted as a direct response to breakup speculation. Photographs and video coverage depicted them walking arm in arm, maintaining the composed demeanor that has characterized their public partnership for years. In parallel, their own social media activity reinforced continuity rather than separation. Kris's birthday tribute to Gamble in November 2025 described him as her rock and ride or die, while Gamble's message to Kris expressed enduring affection and commitment. These statements align with the language previously used to define their relationship and do not introduce new indications of rupture. The contrast between tabloid escalation and observable behavior reflects a recurring pattern within the Kardashian sphere. Minor interpersonal moments are often reframed as structural breakdowns. In this case, the power dynamics of a high-profile couple intersect with an audience accustomed to dramatic shifts within the family narrative. At its core, the situation illustrates the tension between perception and documentation. On one side are speculative accounts suggesting financial ultimatums and concealed conflict. On the other are verifiable public appearances, direct quotes, and ongoing professional stability. The relationship exists within a media environment that monetizes uncertainty, where silence can be interpreted as confirmation and routine interactions can be reframed as strategic damage control. Within that landscape, Kris Jenner remains the central architect of narrative management. Corey Gamble, whether portrayed as protector, confidant, or potential adversary, occupies a defined position within the broader brand structure. The current claims do not alter the fundamental framework that has defined their partnership, since instead they introduce a familiar contrast between viral speculation and documented reality, setting the stage for continued scrutiny without definitive evidence of rupture. The escalation of breakup rumors did not originate from a formal announcement or documented legal action. Instead, it developed gradually through tabloid interpretation of isolated public moments. The first wave of intensified speculation followed reports of a tense interaction between Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble at Jeff Bezos' wedding in Venice. Observers described the exchange as visibly strained, though no official statement accompanied the footage. Shortly afterward, additional reports cited an incident at a Beyoncé concert in Las Vegas, where Kris was seen walking away from Gamble during what appeared to be a disagreement. These two events became the foundation for a broader narrative of instability. Entertainment outlets began framing these moments as evidence of a deeper fracture. Articles described the relationship as hanging by a thread, drawing from anonymous sources who suggested that long-standing tensions had finally surfaced. Within days, the language surrounding the couple shifted from speculation about routine disagreements to claims of a potential financial standoff. Some reports alleged that Gamble was seeking a significant payday or settlement in exchange for maintaining silence about internal family matters. The suggestion was that he had played a key role behind the scenes for over a decade and believed he was entitled to compensation. The narrative gained traction because it aligned with pre-existing public assumptions about power within the Kardashian empire. Kris Jenner is widely perceived as the strategist who controls access, messaging, and long-term positioning. Gamble, by contrast, has often been described as the quiet figure operating in support of that structure. The rumor cycle reframed that dynamic, presenting him as someone who may have grown resentful of a background role and was now demanding recognition in financial terms. Tabloids amplified this angle by referencing his tenure within the family's inner circle. They cited his involvement in logistics, security coordination, and conflict mediation as evidence that he possessed intimate knowledge of sensitive matters. In some versions of the story, that knowledge was portrayed as leverage. Headlines used phrases such as blackmail nightmare and secret settlement talks, although no legal filings or verified documents were produced to substantiate those claims. At the same time, secondary narratives developed around the idea that Gamble felt undervalued. Certain outlets suggested he was done being a doormat, implying that the relationship's longevity masked unresolved grievances. These claims often relied on unnamed insiders rather than direct statements from either party. The repetition of these themes across multiple platforms created the impression of momentum, even though the core evidence remained limited to 2 public disagreements. The rumor cycle was further fueled by the Kardashian family's historical openness about internal tension. Previous seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians and the Kardashians documented friction between Gamble and members of the family, including moments when Kim and Khloe questioned his intentions and when Kanye West publicly criticized him. These archived conflicts were reintroduced as contextual support for the current speculation, reinforcing the idea that instability had always existed beneath the surface. Despite the growing volume of reports, no official confirmation of a breakup emerged. Instead, media attention turned to the couple's response strategy. Rather than issuing formal denials, Kris and Corey continued their regular public appearances. Their joint attendance at the Yes Scholars' 25th anniversary gala in September 2025 was widely interpreted as a deliberate effort to counter the narrative. Video coverage from E! News showed them walking together and engaging normally with attendees. The optics contrasted sharply with claims of separation. Further coverage from TMZ cited sources close to the couple who described the settlement rumors as laughable and freaking hilarious. These responses directly addressed the alleged financial demands, stating that both individuals were independently wealthy and had never relied on one another financially. The framing suggested that the idea of a negotiated payoff was inconsistent with their established circumstances. Additional context emerged from People magazine's coverage of a late 2025 episode of The Kardashians, in which Kris made candid remarks about their relationship. The segment, though informal, depicted continued intimacy and partnership rather than estrangement. Social media tributes also continued during this period. In November 2025, Kris publicly referred to Gamble as her rock and ride or die, while Gamble posted that he was thankful for their shared journey and would not want to experience life without her. These statements were not framed as damage control. They aligned with language previously used throughout their relationship. Nevertheless, the rumor cycle persisted. Outlets continued to reference the earlier public disagreements as symbolic turning points. Some framed the couple's silence on specific allegations as strategic avoidance, while others portrayed their public appearances as calculated image management. The repetition of the narrative across platforms gave it endurance, even in the absence of documented evidence supporting a split or financial dispute. The situation illustrates how minor interpersonal moments can evolve into full-scale narratives within the celebrity media environment. A tense exchange or visible frustration, when isolated and replayed, can be interpreted as confirmation of broader structural conflict. In this case, the storyline developed through accumulation rather than revelation, with each speculative report reinforcing the previous one. As the discussion unfolded, the central allegations remained unverified. There were no court filings indicating separation, no documented settlement negotiations, and no official announcement of a breakup. Instead, the public conversation rested on interpretation, repetition, and the amplification of unnamed sources. The conflict, as presented, continued to exist primarily within the media cycle rather than through confirmed structural change within the relationship itself. The sustained circulation of breakup and financial settlement rumors surrounding Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble reflects more than a question about their personal relationship. It highlights how the Kardashian brand operates within a media environment that often rewards speculation over verification. For more than a decade, their partnership has existed under constant public scrutiny, yet the current narrative demonstrates how quickly perception can detach from documented fact. At the center of this situation is the broader structure of the Kardashian enterprise. Kris Jenner's reputation has long been built on control, strategic positioning, and disciplined image management. Corey Gamble's role, while less visible, has been framed as supportive and operational rather than executive. The rumor cycle attempted to recast that dynamic as unstable, suggesting that prolonged proximity to power might generate resentment or financial leverage. However, no legal documentation or confirmed statements have substantiated those claims. The contrast between tabloid framing and verified public behavior is significant. While some outlets characterize the relationship as hanging by a thread, documented appearances and public tributes during the same period indicated continuity rather than rupture. Their joint presence at high-profile events and their continued social media acknowledgments presented a consistent image of partnership. The absence of formal legal filings or public separation announcements further complicates the narrative of a decisive split. The episode also illustrates how modern celebrity culture amplifies minor friction. A tense exchange at a wedding or a visible disagreement at a concert can become the foundation for extended storytelling. In previous decades, such moments might have faded quickly. In the current digital environment, short clips circulate across platforms, are reinterpreted by commentary channels, and evolve into multi-layered speculation. The repetition of these interpretations can create the appearance of evidence, even when original facts remain limited. Another unresolved element concerns the recurring suggestion of financial demands. The claim that Gamble sought a substantial payday or settlement gained traction largely because it aligned with popular assumptions about wealth, leverage, and insider knowledge within the Kardashian ecosystem. Yet the publicly cited responses from sources close to the couple describe these allegations as exaggerated and implausible. Both individuals are independently wealthy, and there has been no formal indication of litigation or asset disputes. Without documentation, the financial narrative remains speculative rather than substantiated. The situation also underscores the tension between privacy and performance in long-term celebrity relationships. Kris Jenner has openly stated that she has no intention of remarrying, describing Corey as her forever date. That language suggests a deliberate choice to maintain commitment without formalizing it through marriage. In the absence of a marriage contract or public separation filing, the structural status of their relationship remains unchanged. The rumors therefore revolve around interpretation rather than confirmed transition. For the Kardashian brand, the stakes extend beyond personal dynamics. The family's commercial value is closely linked to the perception of stability within its inner circle. While conflict has historically fueled viewership, prolonged narratives of betrayal or financial coercion could undermine the image of calculated control that defines the enterprise. At present, the public record does not support a crisis of that magnitude. Instead, it reflects a cycle of speculation that the couple has addressed primarily through continued visibility rather than confrontation. Unresolved questions remain largely within the realm of perception. Did the public incidents represent deeper strain, or were they routine disagreements magnified by context? Were the financial rumors entirely fabricated, or did they originate from minor disputes that expanded beyond their original scope? Without formal statements confirming structural change, these questions remain open but unverified. What is clear is that the narrative surrounding Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble illustrates how quickly stability can be reframed as instability when filtered through algorithm-driven media. The relationship, as documented through recent appearances and public acknowledgments, continues. The more dramatic interpretations exist largely within tabloid language rather than court filings or confirmed separation announcements. In the broader context of celebrity culture, this episode reinforces a recurring pattern. Minor interpersonal friction becomes symbolic of systemic collapse, particularly when it involves figures associated with wealth and influence. The gap between rumor and documentation widens as repetition replaces verification. In this case, the documented evidence points to continuity, while the speculation remains part of a larger cycle of attention. As of the most recent public record, there is no confirmed breakup, no legal settlement, and no formal dispute over assets. The couple continues to appear together and publicly acknowledge one another. The rumors, though persistent, have not translated into documented structural change. Whether the relationship evolves in the future remains unknown, but the current evidence suggests that the narrative of crisis has outpaced the facts available to support it.